Oh shoot, I gotta go over the questions again. Gosh, being all unprepared. My name's Aaron, like Aaron. Aaron Delos Santos. Spanish last name, but I'm Filipino. The car doesn't have a name, but the type of car it is Mitsubishi. Well, it's an 03 Mitsubishi Evo Evolution, if you want to say the long name. Evolution 8 GSR. Modification-wise for the car, first of all, I got bone stock around a year and a half ago. I got repainted. It used to be yellow, but now it's blue. This is a Toyota blue from Corollas and Camrys. I got Fortunato suspension from Galax, Virginia. I bought 17 by 9 RPF ones at the time. Hell of a deal. I picked those up pretty much the first month of having this car. It just kind of kept rolling from there. I just kept finding deals. I found the wing, carbon fiber wing, V-mount, another deal. It's pretty much just like bolt-ons. I want to say intake piping, intercooler, exhaust, basic stuff like that, exhaust manifold. And then later on, it was way before summer because it was before Springfest. So I went wide body. The only reason being is because I had rust in the corner panels. So I didn't want to like get it patched up, just rather cut it out, boom, have it done. I traded for my 17 by 9 RPF ones for these staggered setup. No one really runs staggered on all-wheel drive cars because they don't want to do the math for rotational diameter. But right now they're 17 by 9.5s in the front, 17 by 10s in the back. Rotational diameter from front to back only differs by 1 millimeter. Another deal popped up in Tennessee. I drove all the way to Tennessee, 8 hours, for a carbon fiber hood by Sabon. My friend sold me that carbon fiber lip by Rexpeed. And then recently, my most recent modification is a Sabon carbon fiber trunk. I sent all three pieces out to a local painter, Channing Allen. The lip and the hood got re-cleared really heavy with blue pearl in there. So it looks like it's paint matched from afar, but when you look up to it, you can see the fibers. And then the trunk, it's light, but you can still see the blue in certain angles. Like it really just depends on how the light hits it. I like to say blue carbon fiber, even though it's not really blue carbon fiber, but yeah, still waiting on more stuff. I want to say this question is more of how did I end up with the Evo? Summer 2017, it was when I still had the Civic at the time, last interview. Like pretty much 2 months after that, my brother had the S2000. And I was driving that around while he was in the Philippines for 2 weeks. So I was just like, when I was driving it around, I loved the luxury of having a newer car, and it was like dependable and the AC was running. I was like, maybe I should try to get an S2000 or a turbo S2000. Trade a Civic up for it. So I was looking around and I saw Evos and I was like, oh, Evos aren't too far out of my price range. I just came across this one out in Dover, Delaware. I came across, it was a deal. I bought the car for $9,000. The Evo was always one of those dream cars that I've always had. And if you ever asked me, like if I ever was gonna own an Evo, probably like 3 years ago, I would probably tell you you're joking. Like, I mean, driving around a legendary car, I wanna like, to me it doesn't feel legendary now since it's daily, but like I have to keep it, to humble myself, I have to keep it in the back of my mindset, like, hey, you started out from a Civic, now you're driving this. When people come up to me during meets and say, man, I really want to get one, I really want to get one. And all I have to tell them and all I can say is like, play your cards right and you can get one, anything's possible. Stop spending your money on dumb stuff, temporary stuff. Really depends on how bad you want it. Especially as a daily, it gets pretty annoying sometimes. They'll see Evo, oh, I gotta run it. Or I gotta make my presence known. Oh, I gotta do this. I'm like, no, dude, stop. Like if you really knew me, it's really hard to kind of impress me in the scene now. So, and I'm not saying that like to be rude, but a lot of these cars are like cookie cutter cars. It's funny in this area because they'll see me like, you're so young, how do you have an Evo? Good credit. But no, like all jokes aside, it's just all I can say is really play your cards right. The Make Me Famous wing. Alright. Everybody knows me for that. It's funny because when people ask, oh, you're talking about the Make Me Famous Evo, right? Right before H2O. I've had the wing for a month on the car, basic, and then I wanted to do something funny for H2O. It was my first time being at H2O, and I don't know if you know what H2OI is. It's Mardi Gras for car people up in Maryland, Ocean City, Maryland. But I was like, okay, how can I set myself different from everybody else? So I put the wing on, put a little banner on there, Make Me Famous. Got it done again by the shop Lovato. I still go to them, by the way. Shout out to Lovato. Just caught on. I was like, okay, Make Me Famous, and it was last year's Spring Fest. That's when I started, like, I'm not saying it got really big, but like that's when I started like, oh snap, it's kind of catching on. People are starting to say it a lot more often, and I'm just like, it's me. Future plans for Evo. Since my Civic was a straight line car, I want this to be a really good all-around car. I don't even know if I'm like out of my mind to say this, but I really want to make it a time attack car. Like, nothing crazy with like crazy aero and stuff. Those are, I'll never be up there. I'll straight up tell you that now. I'll never be up there. I want to overbuild it for what it is. But my ultimate goal is probably around 600 wheel. It's funny because I have a clutch just sitting out, like another twin disc clutch by Excetti, just sitting, waiting to be put in. But I have a good aftermarket clutch right now. Ultimately, I wanted to feel good around turns, put down good lap times to whatever event I choose to take it. But that's after I get a daily though, because it's still my daily. And the reason why even though I do like want to enter in like shows and stuff, I won't consider it as a show car. Reasons being is it's way too high mileage. It's just so much work that has to be done. I would have to redo everything under the car if I really wanted to get like satisfied with it. But as far as like track car, at least it's the money I'm spending to put down new parts. I can feel, or I should be able to feel the difference, see the functionality of it. And at the end of the day, like, I like making this car function. 1 out of 10 would not recommend to daily this thing. Gas mileage sucks. Oh, for those who are wondering where the Civic went, I sold it. I know I said in the last video that I would never sell it, but I was just like, I can't own the Civic and the Evo at the same time. That's two unreliable cars. I'm dailying it, but it's being good to me for now. The Civic, it got parted out. Pretty sad. The motor's gone. I don't know where the shell is. Yeah, I sold it just because I didn't want to dump way more money than I should be into the Civic. Jump 12K into that. I'm already 8K into this. It's still not where I want it to be. So to dump money into this and the Civic, it was a no-go. I don't know if you've gotten my license plate. It's Miyagi. The name of Miyagi lives on. So as far as owning another legendary car, alongside this, I told myself there's 2 routes, possibly 3. If I had to get rid of the Evo, maybe I would have to hands down have to move up to a Mark IV Supra or an RX-7 FD. And then those are still the 2 cars I would own side by side with this. And the only other car, maybe the R33 GTR. The R32s are kind of well played out, and R33s will be played out, but it's an underrated body style of the GTR line, I guess. And again, those are my top 3 cars to own with or without this car. And it has to go up. I can't downgrade. Play your cards right and stop spending your money on hype beast stuff, and you can own one. I'm not ready for what this car can be, and so that should say a lot. So this car has a lot of potential. It's just I need to like narrow in my goals and move way more towards it, and we'll have something special soon.